Hey guys, welcome to Sportscards Chronicles. Today, I'll be revealing a recent Mailbin that I received within the last couple of weeks, and also a Beckett's BGS Reveal of some cards that I submitted a while back, a couple of months ago. But first, I'm going to be touching on a couple of topics that have been relevant regarding the current state of the sports cards market, namely the coronavirus scare and its impact in the market and the Gary V effect. First, let's start with the coronavirus scare. Obviously, we've all heard the news that MLB will be delaying the start of the season and suspending spring training. And the NBA has officially suspended the season until further notice. And the impact has trickled across all major sports, such as hockey, soccer, and the NCAA tournament. Obviously, with all major sports on halt, this may affect prices of sports cards, as potentially less people will be searching for modern day players due to those players not being active, along with a decrease in liquidity in the sports cards market due to volatility in the stock market, people wanting to save money, etc. Even though the sports suspension should be short-lived, how will the suspension of sporting events impact the season performance of some players? For instance, will Ronald Acuna achieve the 40-40 mark this season if it's shortened? Will Pete Alonso achieve the 50-homer milestone again? What about basketball? What will be the effect of terminating the season? Will there be a postseason? All of these questions will raise some doubts in this year's player statistical results. And since sports cards values are partly fueled by player performance and results, it could impact prices for those modern players in the short term. Although I believe that this will all be short-lived, as most likely things will resume within a month or two, we may see a short-term price decline on some of the sports cards, especially those that were way overpriced. Looking at the market data for cards recently sold, I've already noticed that those cards that were already in auction before the news of the sports world halt received minimal bids after the announcement. Several cards received no additional bids after the announcement. They probably would have sold for a lot more if the halt never happened. For now, a decrease in sales volume will temporarily suppress some, if not the majority, of the sports cards on the market. This could be a blessing in disguise, as prices of some of the premium sports cards have ballooned, some at unattainable prices. So as a correction starts to take effect in the sports cards world, there may be opportunity to pick up some of those premium cards at good prices in the coming few weeks. One thing to also note is how will this affect older player cards, Hall of Famers, retired players, etc. My guess is there will probably be a lesser effect on these cards, and collectors and even investors may migrate to these cards instead, since these players are not affected by season halts or results since they're already retired. It's going to be very interesting how things play out in the next couple of months. All in all, I expect this to subside and things to be back to normal within the next 2 to 3 months. Sports will continue, and the MLB season will be reinstated with minimal impact, although the NBA will have its work cut out to try and salvage the season, culminating in some sort of playoff schedule and a crowning of an NBA champion in this shortened regular 2019-20 season. Now, on to Gary V. I know there have been several YouTube videos discussing the Gary V effect. Recently, Gary streamed a 2 to 3 hour question and answer podcast session where he revealed his motivations for buying and collecting sports cards. To summarize, it seems that Gary V is in it for the long haul, with an investment window of 20 years and beyond. He is primarily an investor by trade and is coming into sports cards from an investor point of view. Although I truly believe he is passionate and also enjoys the collecting aspect of sports cards as well. Now, because of his social influence and his reach potential, he is going to affect and influence his followers and those that listen to him to some degree. I believe the issue is more of those who would be easily persuaded and influenced without doing their due diligence and just buying sports cards randomly to do a flip. I believe a lot of those people may get burned by buying cards at astronomical prices, having no notion of what real value of the card is and what their baseline prices are, to try and do a flip to make more money. In my opinion, this is not a good reason to get into sports cards. A big component of sports cards is the collecting aspect of it. When all is said and done, regardless of the prices of cards, the collecting value of the card must supersede any other monetary result you may get from selling it. There is a certain joy from buying a modern player's rookie card, for example, and watching that player play in a game or throughout a season, especially if it is a favorite player of yours. A large constituent of a card's value is the emotional value it has to you. It creates an emotional bond and memories that will last forever and will never go away. That is invaluable, and no price will affect that. In terms of Gary V, I believe that he is not harming the market. He is introducing to the market more people that may be novice, but over time, I believe that they will educate themselves and enjoy the art of collecting more than the flip. Yes, there will be those that are purely in it for the flip, but once things stabilize and we stop seeing these rampant price increases, those people will likely leave the sports cards market and pursue some other flip venture, and a normalization effect will take place until the next wave comes in the future. The cyclical nature of the sports cards market is nothing new, and it will always exist. My opinion is that if it wasn't Gary Vee, it would be someone else or other groups of influential people that would bring massive amounts of new buyers into the sports market world. And according to Gary Vee, professional athletes are starting to come into the market with big money and buying huge amounts of sports cards. There was a mention of athletes such as CJ McCollum from the Trailblazers buying and flipping cards, making huge amounts of money in a month, as well as a video where Gary Vee is speaking with Serge Ibaka, explaining to him the world of sports cards. I believe that what we have seen is just the beginning of what could be an explosion in value of sports cards within the next year or two. Those are my 2 cents. All right, so let's move on to some cards. Let's go ahead and start off with the Mailbin here. All right, so first off, I got a 2018 Topps Update Juan Soto. This is the rainbow foil in a PSA 10. So I wanted to go ahead and pick up his as much of his Topps Update cards as possible before they exploded in value at the start of the season, which has now been delayed, but we'll see what happens. Next up, interesting packaging. And I got this at a mint 9. 10s are pretty hard to come by. Grading wise, I mean, they're even harder to obtain from a raw card. So I figured a 9 was good enough. It's a beautiful card. Juan Soto. All right, next up, picked up this National Treasures RPA Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert's been lighting it up for the Brooklyn Nets. Unfortunately, the season has been halted, but he recently had a 50-point game not too long ago, and I believe that once Kyrie Irving comes back from injury and KD starts playing next season, I think he'll be the missing piece on a pretty good Brooklyn Nets team. So wanted to pick that up before other people started taking notice. Picked up Colin Sexton Silver Prism 2018 rookie card in a Gem Mint 10. So Colin Sexton's been having a really good season, averaging over 20 points a game. He's basically the lone guy in Cleveland that's been putting up consistent numbers. So his card values are definitely gonna keep going up. So I wanted to pick it up before got too late. All right, next. 2011 Bowman Chrome Mike Trout. This is the Bowman Chrome Draft, card 101 in a Gem Mint 10. So I had this card bought raw a while back. Not this particular card, but his 2011 Bowman Chrome. Unfortunately, had a big scratch, and I didn't notice it. So when I got it back from PSA, basically I got a 8. I was kind of bummed about that. So I always wanted to pick up another replacement card, and I decided to upgrade to the Gem Mint 10 since they were still attainable before they shot up in price. 2009 Bowman Chrome Autos have completely been skyrocketed basically, so I wanted to go ahead and pick up this 11 Bowman Chrome Draft card before it shot up in value as well. I think his cards will continue to raise in value, especially the ones that are the next lineup in his rookie cards. You know, the Heritage, the Bowman Chromes, 2011s, the tops, all that stuff will be the next to increase in value over time. So, all right, next up, I had a BGS 8.5 of Manly's 84 Donruss rookie card. So I wanted to go ahead and upgrade to a 9, PSA 9. This is a very well centered card, very beautifully centered card. So can't go wrong with the Manly 84 Donruss. And I think this card will definitely shoot up in value once the masses come in and they start picking up all those 80 cards of their favorite players. All right, next up, I picked up this 2013 Panini Hoops Giannis rookie card in a PSA 9. So Giannis rookie cards have recently shot up in value. His Prism card is already multiplied by a factor of 3 in the last few months. The Hoops shortly followed, so I couldn't get a 10. Those really shot up in value, so I went ahead and picked up a 9. And this is definitely the Gary V effect for those of you who follow Gary V. Next up, Mosaic. This is the 2018 Panini Prism Mosaic, LeBron James in a red. So Mosaics have recently been shooting up as well. Mosaic is about to do their 2019-2020 release, and so you know, Luka Doncic's rookie card, LeBron James cards, all their Mosaics have recently shot up. I was able to get this before the prices skyrocketed, but the Mosaics look like they're the new hottest cards that are being picked up by the masses. So I was lucky to get that. And finally, I didn't have this card. I watched Eric, those back pages video on the Acuna rookie card and what he considered to be the rookie card. And so I had picked up the Bat Down card, which is considered his flagship rookie card. And I had the Topps Update card, but I didn't have the complete set card. So I went ahead and picked this up, and sure enough, within a few days after picking it up, this shot up as well. So it's been pretty insane with these cards and the way they've just shot up in value recently. So that's basically the mail bin. Now I'm going to do a BGS reveal. This is a BGS submission from a few months ago. Finally got it back, and haven't seen the cards, so I think I looked at the grading, but I don't really remember what I got. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, here are the BGS results. So first card, this is the 2018 Bowman Chrome Prospects, Luis Robert, purple refractor. I got a BGS 9.5 auto 10. Pretty sweet card. Next up, this is the 2018-19 Panini Prism Sensational Signatures, Luka Doncic. This is the choice red. Got a BGS 9.5 auto 10. It's a pretty sweet card. Next up, this was a bit of a disappointment. This is the 2018 Bowman Prospects, Pete Alonso. This is the blue. Looks like, yeah, I knew so some of the corners were a little soft. So I knew I was going to get dinged on the corner. Surface, I didn't see anything worthwhile. So maybe there might have been a small little surface issue that I missed, but edge is 9. So yeah, there's a little bit of white around the card, especially maybe up here. So, oh well, 9 out of 10 for the Pete Alonso. Next up, this is the 2019-2020 Panini Prism Silver Zion. Got a 9.5. So it looks like I missed the quad 9.5 centering. Got a 9. So these Prism cards, 2019-2020 Panini Prism cards, are really, really tough on the centering. And I knew it was a little bit off on the centering left to right. Probably, I would say 60-40 or so. But this was probably the most centered card that I found. So, but it's not bad. 9.5 for the Zion. Next up, this one I got dinged on the auto, which is kind of lame, but I guess, you know, his auto actually went down under into the nameplate here. But this is a 2017 Bowman Chrome Prospects, Luis Arraez. So I got 9.5 on the centering, edges were 9.5, surface was a 10, the corners were a 9, which is kind of interesting. I must have missed a corner here. And of course 9 on the auto, which is a bit lame. He's got a beautiful signature. Unfortunately, he went way down into the nameplate there. But nonetheless, beautiful card. Finally, this is the 2016 Bowman Chrome Draft. This is the black refractor of Jesus Luzardo. Difficult card to get. These are numbered out of a 75. Ran across this and wanted to pick it up. Centering was a little bit off, left to right. And then, you know, the corners, there was a little bit of white on the corners. Surface was good, so ended up with a 9. Not a bad grade for a black bordered card. So these are somewhat difficult to grade, but definitely happy to have that card. And that was basically it, guys. That was the Mailbin and the BGS Reveal. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and peace out.